Yo, what's up, guys? Damnation-n-Hellfire here with another episode of Battlefire Crow's Nest. We are on episode 59, Waking Dragon. Does anybody else feel like you're in a Game of Thrones episode or something? You don't want to wake the dragon, do you? So tonight we got George with us.
Evening, everybody.
We got Vice with us.
Hey.
And we got Doomsday Rebel. Say hi to the people. Say.
How's it going, everybody? It's been a long time.
The old-time pirates probably remember Doomsday from his going around smashing bases back in the day. He was the second person to ever start doing Battle Pirates videos, I do believe. And you currently have a degree in game design, don't you?
I do. I got my bachelor's in game art and design, and so I know a lot of the ins and outs of it, but just saw how kind of the inside of the companies work, and then I just kind of chilled out where I live and never haven't pursued it too much so far, but I probably will soon. So.
I mean, you'll bring some good insight though, because when we're like, well, can't they just fix this by doing this, this, and this? And you can be like, no. So yeah, it's definitely good to have somebody with some technical expertise in that area. So I guess we'll start doing some screen sharing. Let's get right into it. How's everybody's raid going at this point?
Slowly. I'm kind of just going in, hitting a couple things and slow repairing most of the time. I've tested a couple of things, and I'm actually waiting for the next hour on a refit just to see how a few things work. But yeah, slowly. I was hoping for better results with the fleet of 5, but it is what it is.
I'm sitting around 130,000 right now, I think. I have done a little bit of coining. I think I'm like 26 coins deep, so that's what, about 5 million per coin or whatever. I'm personally not that dissatisfied with what we got going on. I was very leery when I saw at one point when they said they were going to be upping the damage. But for me in particular, I don't know how it affected other people, but for me in particular, it only ended up being like an 8-minute damage increase. Yeah, so I'm like, oh, okay, that's not as bad as what I thought it was going to be.
You bastard. I got a 27% increase in my damage.
Yeah, I know for me, like I said, for me personally, when I saw it, when they say a slight damage increase, then kickside terms, you're like thinking, oh my God, here we go. We're going to get like an extra hour and a half of fucking damage. But yeah, when I saw my repair time only go up by like 8 minutes, I was actually kind of happy about that. I mean, I wasn't happy that it went up at all, but I was happy that that's all that it went up. Yeah. So Dan, how's your rate going, bud? Or Dan might have stepped away. Yeah, he did say be right back. What about you, Travis? What are you at? How's it going?
Oh, well, I've been at work most of the day. I just got off just a little bit ago, but I was able to do a couple of test runs. I have basically 2 complete bat rays and then 1 full of weapons and specials, except for it doesn't have any hails on it, and it's missing 2 CTX3 armors. But I can do 65s with usually instant repair or micro repair. Just, it might be like a couple minutes over, so I have to remove 1 ship. So I've got a few million, and I did a test on the 80s, and my 4th bat ray actually is going to be out in like 2 hours, 2 or 3 hours. So my plan is to start with tokens, and I'm going to maximize my other blank hole and try and get up to 5, and then I'm going to go straight for the 100s and just finish it out that way.
Cool. RB said, I just saw RB type million in chat. Apparently I accidentally said 130,000 instead of 130 million.
You did. We knew what you meant though.
Yeah, dude, I hang out with Toxic so much and he always gets the numbers wrong. He like drops 3 zeros in raid and then adds 3 zeros in bounty, and I think it's starting to rub off on me.
Blame it on poor Toxic, who's not even here to defend himself.
I'll throw that guy right under the bus. He knows it, too. He knows it. So now I got a question for you, Doom. I've been hearing a lot of reports, and I'm sure you can attest to this, whether it's fact or not. I've been hearing a lot of reports that when bat rays are a target, they'll have one hull that takes like a crap ton of damage, and then the other ones take minimal damage. That's the case, yeah.
Yeah, but it's strange in my case because I've done several runs with it now, and it's usually my best ship or the second best one. And the one that only has 2 armor slots, I even put as a flagship just to see if it would, act as my like punching bag pretty much, and to see if it was actually like priority targeting, selecting the lowest armor ship. But it's not. It's almost like it chooses a hull and it just stays on it. And to me, it's like the torpedoes. So the way I've negated that is actually where all torpedoes in the lower targets at least seem to have a minimum range. So I just bull rush everything and sit on top of it, and I take way less damage that way.
There you go. There you go. So yeah, for everybody who's having that problem with your bat rays, so there you go. You just go sit on top of them and kill them. So seems good. Let's see. I do want to I want to one more time share my build that I got going on for my Razor Tails. This is pretty much the build that I've been pimping for like the past 3 weeks now, and it seems to have played true and be doing good for me. I got 2 Gale 3s on it to help shoot down some of the rockets, but a lot of it's for the explosive defense as well. And then I have 1 recondite rocket to affect the enemy reload, and then everything else is needler rockets. Then, of course, for my armor, I have the CTX5s, special, the CTX3. I have Hyper 30 because the splash reduction, the speed bump, the evade bonus, and the projectile speed benefit are all useful. I got the warhead reloaders for reload and explosive damage. I got the Wave Rider warheads. I have the hydraulic resistors for my engine because of the concussive resistance. And then I have CM4 for the reload for my countermeasures and for the reload on the rockets. And it seems to be rocking out pretty well. I'm getting, like I said, for doing a full set with a Grease Monkey, I'm getting like an hour and 16 minutes, hour 22 minutes damage, something like that. So I'm okay with what's going on right now.
Yeah.
That's auto though, right?
Yeah, that's full auto. The only thing I do is stack them at the beginning, and then I just let them go.
Yeah, because I know I was going to say
that's a good tip, because I see a lot of people just go straight auto and they just hit it and forget it. And I've seen them take way more damage than the people that actually stack first and then go.
Yeah, I haven't had a problem not stacking with the AI. I do know Vengeful hit, I think, just over an hour. I was looking hour and 15 or hour and 20 minutes of damage driving his raises, because he had built for driving, for skill driving, and I had built for auto. So
do you have like a tack insulator or something like that on yours, or?
No, I went with the resonance battery, and it was doing really good earlier today before they adjusted the targets.
Mm-hmm.
After the adjustment, they kind of went to, I guess, a normalish build. I was at like between 207 and 211 for a full set, with just the Sea Serpents, and now I'm up between like 240 and 245.
I will say too, like not having the bat ray, I did do a little bit of asking some questions on the page earlier, and it seems like people who have good builds of bat rays that have 5 of them are getting extremely comparable times to what I'm getting. So it kind of almost seems like they kind of did put their money where their mouth was, and it might not have mattered which way you went with your holes as far as the raid itself. Of course, how they work in the rest of the game is a totally different story. But for the raid targets themselves, it seems like they kind of really stepped up and did what they said they were going to do. Yeah,
and so if you got an incomplete build like myself, they really gave us the option this time with the it's basically 10 days worth of build token, and with me that's enough to finish mine, and then maybe have like 3 days left. So I'll be able to complete my hulls, even though they're not all legendary, they're still pretty good rank, 60s and 70s. So I mean that shouldn't uh, damper it too bad. But I think it's really cool that they did give us the build tokens for the people who didn't get tokens in like FM or whatever, or have some saved up. We have the opportunity to actually build first and then go. So if you build first, I think you're going to excel better in the raid instead of just trying to grind it all the way out.
Yeah, I would definitely totally agree with that. Grab those tokens that are in what is it, tier 6, I guess, are the easier ones to get. Yeah, grab those as soon as you can and finish out your stuff, and you'll be in a lot better position. So, of course, we already said Waking Dragon. It's started today. Is it just me, or does Greta's neck keep getting longer and longer and longer? I mean,
it's longer.
Yeah, I mean, she's gonna be like having spots like a giraffe by next raid. I think, I'm not sure.
She must have like a ring fetish or something.
Yeah, right. But yeah, started today at noon. It goes till Monday at noon my time, which is 9 a.m. kicks time. The store closes on Tuesday at 9 a.m. kicks time. The all new store layout. This is where they now have a locked store for each different tier. So you'll have like tier 7, tier 6, tier 5, and like each one of those tiers has their own locked store. So, because we've always enjoyed the lock store so much that they decided they'd go ahead and triple down on us. I don't know. I heard some other people saying they thought this was a great thing. I'm not a fan. I think you should have that stuff that's in the lock store for the tier 6 and tier 5, you should have just put it in a regular open store. It just puts one more stumbling block for somebody like me who doesn't need anything in tier 5 or tier 6, but you force me to get something so I can get the tokens. I'm not a big fan of that.
I mean, here's the thing. It looks like they had split all the tokens between the tiers. So in one instance, if you're trying to go after every single one of one particular token, you're going to have to unlock every one of them. But they did the staggered store this way. And the good thing is they don't have crap that we really need locked behind the damn store now. So like the hulls are not locked somewhere. The weapon isn't locked. You know what I mean? It's all the quote-unquote optional stuff. So that's a plus.
Yeah, but having the like the tokens in tier 6 or whatever locked behind stuff that I might not necessarily want to claim, I don't necessarily like that.
Well, everybody wants to claim that uranium for 1.5 million. Come on now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I don't care for it either, but it's they're trying a new model, so.
Well, and one thing I thought was interesting too, I heard some people saying this was like the best thing since sliced bread, and then in the same breath, the next sentence, turn around and complain about how much some of the stuff in the lower tiers cost. I'm like, well, you can't be happy about one and not happy about the other. I mean, it's kind of all hand in hand. I just would have seen like 5 of those tokens unlocked totally, and you could grab them whenever, and then the other 5 could be locked, and I would have been okay with that.
Some of the prizes are kind of laughable, like the explosive resistors at 10 million, and I think even the concussive reload we thought it was 4, but I think it's actually 10 million for those too.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about those when we get to the prize list, and we'll go over some of that stuff, and it's just like, why? For those of you guys too who cannot compete in the raid, they do have the Crushing Tide campaign where you can actually go out and get a fleet of Tide Seekers. You're going to end up with like tons and tons and tons of Tide Seeker build tokens. You're going to get the concussive payload. You're going to get the Garwood Gatling gun. So you're going to get all kinds of good stuff in this, and you get VXP tokens for your Tide Seekers that you're going to be winning as well. So you can probably crank out an entire fleet of Tide Seekers minus the flag just by doing this campaign. And, so if you go through and do that super quick, you might even be able to go out and do some of the really low level 41 targets, perhaps. I'm really liking to see that they're starting to do this kind of thing. It's like, here's the raid, and for those of you who can't do the raid, here's something to help you get into the raid, possibly even this time.
Well, even for me, like where I've been gone, from the game for like about 2 years, most of my holes are just, relics. So that's a little side project I can do while something's, repairing, and then I can take my garrison hole in, do that, and then build, a fleet real quick and just something to play with, and test out just to see. Which I've already built one Tide Seeker from tokens I already had with rip saws, and I got like a resonance battery, tack insulator. I got it set up pretty good. It'll do uranium, but well, it'll need more, to do raid targets, of course.
Yeah, I mean it's awesome. I really like it, and this is another thing I like too. As they're transitioning fully into the skirmish cycle, for those people who aren't quite ready yet, they've actually put back out some of the Draconian Mega Convoy targets from last raid. You can do the 89s with Manicores if you were doing well with those, or you can use your Skyfires or Phoenixes on the 69. So here's another way for you to be able to get raid points for those of you who aren't quite ready yet. So it was kind of nice. It was kind of nice to see that them kind of helping people out.
Yeah,
It's always good to see like an option for grinding for lower people. I mean,
yeah, it really is. It really is. Of course, we got the breakdown here. The tier ace, that's the 2 targets. You got the 100 and the 102, and then loot wise, you can get the nailhead rockets in the 102 and the and shards for the Gathering Storm Gatling gun and the 100. Each of those is 2.5 million. Then you get a 5 million completion bonus. So, and then you got the tier 7. You got the 600,000, 600,000, and 600,000. So
I thought that was pretty neat doing that.
Yeah, I kind of like the way they're all the same amount of points, and then you get the 1.5 million completion bonus. And then for the tier 6 one, you have the 65, 63, and 61 at 300,000, 200,000, 100,000 points, and you get a 450,000 point completion bonus. And then they have just the tier 5 is just the 1 target, the level 41, and that pays out 40K. For the 89, you can get 800,000 points, and you can blitz that with 5 coin minimum, 10 coin maximum. The assault target, you can also blitz, same min max for 600K. The regular 69, you can do 1 coin minimum, 5 coin max for the blitz for 125K. And the tier 6 assault target, the level 69, you can do for 90K with a 1 minimum and a 5 maximum again. The tier 8 targets are locked to tier 7 skirmish hulls, and nothing else in the entire raid is locked, and there is no hit down penalty this time around. That's a really good, I like that. I like that a lot.
I just wish it wasn't just for the first one every time.
Well, baby steps, man. Baby steps, It took us how long to get them to even do it for the first one? For the tier 8 targets, they are tuned to a full fleet. That means 5. And this caused so much confusion when he put rank 15 there, or rank 18 rather, because so many people were thinking retrofit, rank, but no, that's your actual rank on your ship. So that would be at your 66% mark.
So that's just a veteran, basically, is what that is.
Yeah, that was extremely confusing for tons of people. The tier 7 are. Sorry, go ahead.
The 15 is veteran, 18 is a specialist, I think.
Yeah, I do believe so. Yeah, the tier 7 is tuned for the 60% bat rays or razor tails. Tier 6 is for the 66 or better hunters or fangtooths, and the tier 5 is for a full fleet of 66% tide seekers. And let's talk about the first prize. That'd be the Brennus Bat Ray. Travis, you want to cover this one?
Yeah, let me pull it up here. Let's see. All right, can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. So the Brennus Bat Ray, it says it's custom built Bat Ray as a terror on the ocean with higher damage and stronger defense aurora, and boiler jets to punish Draconian submarines. It is the perfect capstone to any bat ray fleet. All right, so it's got a couple buffs that's actually better on the hull itself. So you get your on your attack, you have your explosive damage up to 100, which I think it's 75 if I'm not mistaken on the normal, and then
63 on the regular one.
yeah, and then your concussive is up to 300. So that's really good considering you're using your like rip saws and the that type of weapon. But another thing that it has, I guess I'm kind of jumping ahead, but the special ability with the forward-facing aura. Now, that is actually really cool in my opinion because this hull can be used to kite, or you can rush it like I've been doing. So this is perfect for what I need because it's actually going to boost my damage output and defenses when I get up on the Nighthawk sub, which is what it's designed for. So I think they kind of thought it out to where you could actually run if you want to, and then at the last minute turn and burn pretty much. So. And let's see the that effect too. What is that like negative? It's going to take away like that. Sorry, I'm on my phone, so it's like 350 million. Is that
3.5 million.
Yeah, 3.5 million of concussive damage. So that's actually really good.
Yeah, the only thing I wonder a little bit about that though is like with we can pretty much tell by just how long it's taken us to kill these ships that they have a fair amount of concussive defense. So when you look at that 3.5 million, it seems really good, but then when you start reducing that by like 98 or 99%, it's like, well, they run all that damage away.
Oh yeah, that's true. Actually, I didn't think about that. And but another thing though, you do get the combat speed boost and the turn speed, so that'll help somewhat if you can manage how you're going to set up your attack. So sorry, somebody keeps trying to call on my phone.
Oh, there you go. The one interesting thing too, there's something actually that did change from when I actually grabbed the slide off the forum was bonus effect applied to each bat ray razor tail. Oh no, that's the way it is. Yeah, that applies to each bat ray razor tail or Occam's razor or Brennus bat in the fleet. Is you get that 60% defense buff, so that's pretty nice.
Yeah, that is actually.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah, I mean, I honestly, and we'll talk about the Occams here in just a minute, but I would almost think that between the two flagships, the Brennus guys got maybe a little bit better of that deal.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems a little more versatile. I think the other one for the razor tail is kind of pretty much just straightforward, so it'll help.
So Dan, do you want to go over the razor tail real quick?
I sure will. I say the razor tail, the Occamons.
Occam.
Razor tail. Yeah. I say it's given a choice of two equal solutions. Choose the bigger gun. It has a higher damage than the base model, stronger resistance, and deploys speed zones to help the fleet chase down fleets. Oh, let's see. Yeah. I mean, I got that explosive damage up there to 300% and the concussive at 100%, more than the regular ones. It's got the extra ship deflection.
Oh, yeah.
It's got is the sonar range longer than on this?
No, I think
the
thermal
same.
I think the thermals or the detection is the same.
Okay, yeah, but its special abilities that gives another 40% combat speed to the ship, another 10% turn speed, slow threshold 1%. That's something different.
No, the other ones had that too.
The other one had that too.
Yeah, it's basically if you pretty much.
If you stop, you're not going to stop for not that much.
Well, yeah, if you take any type of damage whatsoever, you're gonna slow back down to all your regular combat speeds.
Right. That ain't so bad.
Yeah.
Let's see. I say it helps your subsurface submarines, surface submarines, ships, range of 75. Same as the other ones, I believe.
Yep.
Let's see. Bonus effects applied to each, but Bat Ray, Razor Tail Brennis, Bat Ray, Razor in the fleet. Let's say, can't see how much concussive and explosive.
It's 60%, just like the other.
Just like the other one.
Yeah.
Then you get the built-in speed zone deployer, fire speed boost to help pursue enemies. Another, gives you salvo of 4.
I'd love to know more exactly about how this works. If it works like kind of like the oil slicks that the Man of War would pop out, because it doesn't tell anything about how much of a speed buff it gives you. It doesn't say exactly what triggers it. Like, does it shoot it at the ice fields on the ground, or does it shoot at the actual boats? Like, they were just kind of like lacking information on how exactly this effect worked.
It is.
But yeah, especially like the speed buff. I would love to know what the speed buff was. Like, am I getting 150% like I do with oil slicks, or am I getting like a 30%? Like, it would have been nice to know that information.
Yeah. Well, I said no. Yeah, it sounds like it's shooting out, or pretty much shooting out oil slicks for us to zoom up through. So, is what it looks like. Sounds like.
Right. Does it have a cooldown, or how often does it do it?
It doesn't say anything about a cooldown. But it does say reload time is 5 seconds, and of course, then you have to factor all in like legendary and all that stuff to it.
So it's quite interesting. I mean, sure, it isn't giving you the extra protection like you got to get at the Bat Ray, but
it does. It gives you the 60% down there. But it just doesn't do the extra damage to like subs or whatever. But that's because we service them. But like I'm thinking that the main ability, the main function of this ability is to help maybe get you through ice fields faster. And I have noticed sometimes that like the interdictors and command interdictors kind of like tend to skirt a little bit out of my range, and I have to kind of chase them down a little bit, so it'll help with that.
Oh yeah, yep. They do.
Yes, I mean it's interesting. I'll have to see how this built-in speed deployer actually works before I can decide whether it's really good or not. But just based on what we're seeing on paper, it definitely seems to me like the Bat Ray got the better flagship. But like I said, I'll have to wait and actually see this in practice.
Right, it's still pretty good. I mean, it ain't bad, but it could have used a little bit more. But yeah.
And then I just did the little chart here showing that the Occam's Razor Tail had the 300% for explosive damage and the 100% for concussive, while the regular Razor Tail only did 250 and 63. And then the stats for the Brennis versus the regular Bat Ray were the same percentages, only reversed where they were for the damages.
Yep. I say so. Yeah, I like that. I like that 300%. I thought, geez.
Yeah. So other new stuff. We got the XR Plate 2, that's 10 million points. And this is the one for your radioactive and explosive deflection. And it's going to give you 562,152 of each one of those types of deflection. And you can only have 2 of these per ship. So it's definitely a good upgrade to the XR Plate 1. Like, I can actually probably take one of my armor plates off of my Witch Doctor that I'm currently now using and just go with one of these as opposed to 2 of the others. Or I can have a little bit more flexibility with my weapons now and not have quite as much of a clown car. So, it's definitely good stuff. We knew it was coming, so it's good. Next thing we got is the CTO Plate 1 for 8 million. Finally, Like you see, I'm very happy this is finally out. We got little fireworks going everywhere. Bang, 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 bang. And honestly, I'm not so much happy about this particular version of the armor so much as I am happy that knowing that the 2 and the 3 are probably right around the corner now. And those are the ones that will really help get other PvP holes back into the game because it will give them that much needed and extremely hard to come by corrosive deflection.
Yes.
But, this one you can use 3 plates of this per ship if you want, and it gives you 281,076 deflection against corrosive and concussive.
That's good. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's good stuff, man.
That'll help get rid of some oddball weapons we have on them.
Yeah, I think Ifrit users will especially see this come in handy because between their flamethrowers, the corrosive deflection that gives them, and putting like 1 or 2 of these on, they can actually get their corrosive deflection up to where adder strikes and stuff aren't going to bother them at all.
Right, exactly.
And then we got the Zith reinforcements, D5CT for 10 million. That's just yet another one of the turret armors to help finish out the set. This one gives you your concussive defense of plus 30%. I'm sure this will get changed when they do the refactor because, as I said, they're getting rid of percentages on turrets. So I guess this will maybe be changed to a deflection number or something at that point. But this is what it is now. Nothing special, just kind of what we're used to.
Yeah, trying to figure out what they're going to do with all that yet. But yeah.
And then we got the nailhead rockets, if you want to go over those, Dan.
Yeah, sure will. The nailhead rockets. Yeah, there's our new rocket for our razors with explosive damage. The weight's kind of high at 105 ton. 805 ton. Got good projectile speed of 450. Pretty good splash of 17. Spread of 150. Range 68. Damage is up there to 22,000 with only 3 salvos. Reload time of 4. And it gives some flak evasion and 34% for them, so they ain't gonna get shot down so much. And not a bad weapon. It's just kind of heavy. You ain't gonna be able to put.
Well, but I mean, rockets are always historically heavy, so I think
that is true.
I think this one actually comes in the same weight as what the ones that we're using right now are. But like my big thing, this one definitely seems like an escalation weapon, which I thought we weren't going to have those anymore. But that 34% flak evade definitely makes this seem like an escalation weapon because that means you're going to be getting a third more of your shots through. So your overall damage output is going to go up, in my opinion, a noticeable amount. So this one definitely seems like an upgrade weapon, escalation weapon, whereas the next one seems just more like a side grade. So we can talk about that real quick if you want to go over this one, Travis.
All right, the Gathering Storm, that's a Forsaken Tier 7. That's a depth charge weapon dealing concussive damage. And we actually got a little bit better. We got 750 tons for the bat rays. It's got a fast projectile speed of 500. We got the splash at 15 and a spread at 15, which I've done some testing with, different crews with the splash. So actually, this will help out, I believe, because if you can get them lined up just right, you can take out a couple ships, at the same time. Range is 93. Your damage is 20,000, so that's really good. Salvo at 4. So that's when it splits up, it's actually going to be doing quite a bit of damage when they hit, and especially with that splash. So what's the reload? 2 seconds, and we got the submerged damage at 20,000. The wall damage and building damage is low, but we got the wind up just like the Ripsaw, so it goes from 8,000 to 20,000. So keep in mind your first hits don't do as much damage until you wind up. So, but we do get an additional splash from 14 to 18. So.
Okay, this is the one line on this blueprint that really confused me. Because up at the top it says it has splash of 15, but then down at the bottom it says the splash goes from 14 to 18. I'm assuming that was just a typo and they meant to put 15 to 18 there.
Possibly, yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, it's got to be a typo. It don't make sense.
I mean, doing some cursory number crunching though. This one definitely seems more like a side grade as opposed to an escalation weapon like the other one.
Yeah, you almost want to pair it with your other ripsaws, I do believe.
Yeah, I would probably say that's true. So some of the other stuff that's in there, cryo battery for 8 million points. A cryonic depth charge for 8 million points, scrambler cannon 8 million points, lockdown rockets 8 million points. Those are all stuff that we don't see very often. So if you don't have it and you want it, now is the time to grab it. Curators are in there for 8 million points apiece. You can get up to 5 of them. If you don't have a curator, I would personally recommend getting one and building it because I think they're really good. And then to go with it, you get the CM, CR Reloader, the Conservator, CR001. And then Cluster Warheads, 3 for 10 million points. Isn't this the one that's in the FM?
Yeah.
It is.
And it's old. It's like so old, dude. It's like 5, 6 years old. Like for real. Isn't it not?
It is.
And it's like, you can tell they're not pricing stuff on how old it is. They're pricing it on how useful it is currently in the game because I've seen a lot of people with builds that are using this. So they're like, oh, people are using this. We can charge
Yeah.
I didn't put all the prize lists up for each tier. I mean, you can go look on the forums for that yourself. I just kind of did some of the highlighted stuff that I wanted to talk about. In the tier 7 lock store, then after you claim something from tier 7 and the regular part, you can get up to 5 days worth of bat ray tokens and 5 days worth of razor tail tokens. So that's good stuff. I think there's also like, your KD shards and stuff in there, but I didn't bother posting those. For the tier 6 unlock store, you can get the regular bat ray and its weapon and its special. You can get the regular razor tail, its weapon and its special, and you can also get the Greta's Inferno Dragon for 40 million points. Little pricey in my opinion.
Yeah, wasn't it cheaper last raid?
That I can't remember. I do remember when you could get it in the FM for like 9 million points.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's like, this flag has been out for a little while now, so I think that should have been more like a 20 million price tag on that.
yeah.
Because they even offered the Makara one time at 20 million. So I mean,
Yeah.
for the raid hole,
And then of course, once you claim something in the regular tier 6 store, you can, in the lock store, you can get up to 5 days worth of tokens for both the bat ray and the razor tail again. So you can actually get up to 10 days worth of build tokens for either one, which is, pretty damn close to actually getting a whole hull out. So that's not bad. That's not bad at all. And then in tier 5, you can get the Fang Tooth and all the stuff that goes with it, the Hunter and stuff that goes with it, and the flagship for each one of those too.
Those are priced decent.
Yeah, they're not bad at all. And then after you claim something there, and for the unlocked token stuff, you can get 10 days worth of Fang Tooth build tokens, 10 days worth of Hunter build tokens, and 10 days for each of the flag as well.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the PBX special is in there somewhere. I forget which tier it's in. I think it was kind of pricey. If I recall it, I think it was like 8 million points. But I think the main reason that's 8 million points as opposed to something more reasonable, like 4 million points, is because it's still a roadblock to a lot of people because they have to, in order to get into that one campaign, you have to have the PBX. So I have a feeling that's why that's so kind of pricey in there. Yeah, this was a little blurb I got off the forums that really confused me. It says, as for the prizes, our event store now contains a new set of prizes that are catered specifically for low-level players. Okay, I'm fine with that. But then it says, including some new PvP ships. I don't know about you guys, but I didn't see a single new PvP ship. I saw really old PvP ships that they put in that we hadn't seen for a while, but I didn't see anything new.
It was
They got them in yet?
There was a sniper talking about things.
I mean, like, but even the old ones they put in there. Okay, the one they put in there was the incinerator. That was literally the worst hull out of all the tier 6 hulls. That should not be in there whatsoever. And the Valiant nowadays, that's not going to stand up to anything. So
Nope.
yeah, they not only did they not give us new PvP ships like it said here, but they gave us like probably some of the crappier old ones.
Yeah. Some of those old holes should come with like a warning skin. Like,
Yeah, I know, right?
Do not get me.
Buy at your own risk.
this only consumes time.
And actually, that's it for the slides.
Huh.
So we're through the slides, and we still have 18 minutes to go. Wow, that's pretty good.
Wow.
So I don't know what else you guys want to talk about. You want to talk some more about the raid and tips and tricks and stuff that you found out?
Well, I'm still getting mine set up just a little bit better than they were. I gotta get putting another gale on each one of them.
I know I myself, I really don't have a lot of tips and tricks to give because like I'm doing it on, auto. I stack them up at the beginning and then just let it run. So there's not many tricks involved with that. You just sit there and watch it go. And if it happens to start splitting up, just stack it back up again. That's the only tips I can give you.
How are the cryos doing on your razors? I got to watch the live stream just for a little bit before I had to go back to work, but I saw you do the 100 and then, or the 102 and then part of the 100. But
yeah, actually, I don't have cryos on mine.
No, I mean like those cryo fields. How
are the cryo fields? They slow me down a little bit, but I mean not enough to where I come to like a complete stop. Yeah. And it doesn't seem like the debuff is giving me a whole crap ton of damage. Yeah. So yeah, I'm actually pretty satisfied with my build and the way it's performing.
Yeah, because you basically just had like 2 coins on the 102.
Yeah, it's like I said, like before they adjusted the targets, I was taking like about on average an hour and 7 minutes for a set. Yeah. And then after they did the adjustment, that took me up to like an hour and 15 minutes or hour and 22 minutes per set.
But wasn't that with the grease monkey?
That is with the grease monkey, yes.
Yes, but yeah, without a grease monkey, it's 2 hours and 34 minutes.
Yeah. So yeah, well, like I said, as far as tricks, I don't have any tricks. I'm a one-trick pony, man. I go and stack up and go.
I just I try and trap the Nighthawks. Like I'll bait them over. Like actually the first thing I try and do is to target the proto-nyms because you can draw them out first in a lot of cases. Some of the lower targets, now I'm not hitting the big stuff, but some of the lower targets, you'll get a couple groups of hunters in front of them, so you got to take them out first. But sometimes you can bait them out and take them out really easy, and then try and focus on all the other ships. But I try and keep distance away from that Nighthawk, and it'll circle around maybe and get like a couple shots. But once it gets over to the left side, because I try and pull it all the way to the left, it'll run into the wall, and then I can go sit right on it and then stay with it for the most part, and take it out fairly easy for the level. So keep that in mind. So. Yeah.
Cool. I guess one thing I should point out too, you'll see the what we call the P clouds in the target, and they actually do not do any damage this time. They're just there to break up the monotony of the map. So if you can run through them and not take any damage. So that's something definitely worth pointing out, because I know in the past it was like, gotta avoid the P clouds, but it doesn't matter this time.
Well, does it shroud you when you go through the darker cloud, or?
Yeah, you can go through everything on there, like I said, because I specifically had asked them about that, and they're like, no, it doesn't do anything. It's just there to break up the monotony of the map.
That's good. Okay.
So,
did anybody hard to stare at the blue screen all day trying to program it, and it's just the same kind of pattern.
Yeah, right. Did anybody in chat have anything they wanted to ask or wanted us to cover before we go? Because I'm not just going to milk the last 14 minutes. We can all use time to get back to our raid, I'm sure, but we'll give you guys a couple minutes to see if you have anything you want to ask.
Well, I know some people were trying to ask about bat raid builds, and I was like, I really don't have one. I don't know if anybody else.
What do you got going on?
Does.
What do you got going on your bat raids, Travis?
I'm basically right now just running Ren's build with the two Gales and then the rest of the G7U Ripsaw. And I got 4 C TX3. I have 3 of them with concussive resistors, and the 2 that I'm finishing out right now has explosive resistors just to test to see if there's any difference. And then I got the Hydra casings, what is it, AC2 or whatever, that boosts the critical hits and all that. I got a siege battery and countermeasure for just to help with the reload of the weapons.
Now, you said siege battery. Did you mean skirmish battery?
Yeah, skirmish battery. So.
There we go. Oh, no, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure that we clarified that. Otherwise, some poor guy will put siege battery on his shit, and we'll be hearing about that for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, my bad.
Well, not a big deal. Not a big deal. And Rick Anderson in chat asked, where are all the damn grease monkeys? He probably does not want to hear that when I was rolling the other night, I had 310,000 uranium, and I managed to get 3 grease monkeys in that.
No, you don't want to hear that.
So I won't tell him that.
Yeah, I said I rolled 300 and some thousand a day and didn't get nothing.
Well, that's just one of those, they come and go in spurts. I've gone through droughts before for a couple months where I couldn't roll one, and I guess
I pulled 2. I got 2 of them, and then I got several of the gold crew for the UAVs, and I got 8 2-star salty dogs.
Well, hey, they're definitely worth hanging on to for the BXP weekend next week.
Oh yeah, I got plenty of salty dogs, that's for sure.
I got I rolled my first demo squad. I hadn't rolled a demo squad in months, and I just rolled my first one of those in a long time last night.
Yeah, so I haven't been getting a lot of those lately either, as I used to get those left and right.
I've been seeing a lot of people complain about the drop rate of grease monkeys, though.
Yeah, at least I usually get at least 1 or 2 a week if I rolled all the time, but it's having a hard time getting them now.
Yeah, they could just at least do like a reduced version of some of the gold crews. Like the Disciples of Skullduggery. I mean, that could be a 2-star crew. Just cut down the percentages, but whatever.
Yeah, it's very, very rare that anybody ever sees a Disciple anymore.
Oh yeah, no kidding.
Oh, I got one as a relic. It's just there so I can look at it.
Right. I actually had somebody posted on the page the other day that they actually rolled a bullseye brigade, and I was like, "Oh my god!" That's crazy. Because they used to be plentiful, and then they dried up, and then I actually thought they had taken them out of the game, even though they were still showing up in the rotation. I didn't think you could actually roll them anymore, but that shows that they are still in there, and you can still roll them. But I wouldn't be holding my breath between now and when you get one.
Yeah, well, I was like, I thought I rolled one once before, but it came up all blank, and it screwed up my whole game, and had to refresh. It was like it wasn't supposed to be there or not.
Yeah, it's crazy the way they drop sometimes. But yeah, I mean, I guess the best advice I can give you is just find what target works best for you for your damage to time ratio or your damage to coin ratio and whatever the case may be, and that's where your sweet spot is, and that's where you should be hitting. Don't try to push yourself and take a lot more damage than what you need to just because, you know, Joe beside you is able to do the S sets. You know, if you got to do the A sets for a better return on your investment, that's fine, man. You don't have to try to keep up with the Joneses. Just find your sweet spot, stick there, and stick to it.
Yeah, because last raid I used Skyfires and I just hit 60s, you know, and I got 120 million, and then you prepped me a set, so I got 5 from that, so you know, 125 million, and you know, but it was a 6-day raid, you know, of course, but the flag and stuff's lower this time, so it's grindable, you know, with just the right setup or even a half of a setup. So if you got the right tools. So.
Yeah, it's just like the tortoise and the hare, man. Slow and steady wins the race.
Well, just got to be focused on what you want.
I know Candy Apple in chat just asked what's up with settings changing when you refresh. My music keeps coming back on. Yeah, I've been having that problem too. They are aware of it and they're working on it. They had some problems with the battle server that took a higher priority. But yeah, they are aware of that bug and they are working on it. Because I told him, I'm like, for the love of God, will you please fix the fact that my music keeps coming back on? It scares the crap out of me sometimes.
Yeah, no, I was like, I refreshed my screen. I was like, okay, and also music. Like, what the hell? I'm on Hangouts. Like, I mean, what the heck? Who's playing music?
I mean,
where's it coming from?
It did to me the first time last night, and I like literally jumped in my chair whenever it happened. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's like,
I tried to find the original music. It used to be online somewhere. You know, the first song.
Right.
When you mentioned that earlier today, I was like, I want to find the original, but I couldn't come up with it. So.
You're gonna send me the link and be like, here, click this. This is funny.
I so was, man, but I failed.
That could potentially have been worse than Rick rolling me. I'm not sure. All right. I think that pretty much covers everything. As always, give us a thumbs up, give us a subscribe, and send your friends to the page if they're not on there already. And Saturday, we'll have our open mic, and we'll talk to you then and do some more updating on the raid and see how everybody's doing and where you're at. And thanks for coming out. Thanks for participating in chat. And we will talk to you on Saturday. You guys have a great night.
Good night, everyone.
And good luck in your raid.
Yeah, give it hell.